Fantasy check-in on the Portland Trailblazers now. Damian Lillard continues to be just really steady, the 10th ranked guy over the last 2 weeks, doing what he does, while CJ McCollum's had a bit of a surge. He's up inside the top 30. This is reminiscent of what he was able to do a couple of seasons ago, but I do urge some caution here. He's shooting 51% over his last 5 games, and he's averaging a steal and 0.8 blocks, numbers which aren't likely to continue for CJ, especially that shooting, which has really dropped off for him recently. He's averaging 24 points in this time. I think he's more of a top 50 guy than a top 30 guy, so maybe you might be able to leverage this into some sort of sell high type of moment. Yusuf Nurkic continues to be impressive with his free throws, 76%, but hitting just 37% of his field goals is a disaster for a big man. 13 and 9 with 2 blocks. He could very easily be a top 30 player if those field goals were going in. He's been an impressive guy this season, while the Chief Al-Farouq Aminu,
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
he finds himself outside the top 130 over the last couple of weeks. He's averaging 10 and 8. The defensive numbers aren't quite there. The efficiency's well up. We know that's likely to drop. 51% from the field in his last 6 games. He's a guy that was under 40% each of the last 2 seasons. While Mo Harkless, he's coming back into discussions for 12-team leagues, 134th ranked player, which you can look at and go, well, Josh, that's a clear 12-team player, and I agree it is. He's also doing it on the back of 58% shooting, which is not a realistic target for Harkless to continue. But a block a game, 0.8 steals per game, 0.8 threes per game. He is starting to come up in those 25 minutes, and he is a guy I'd add in 16-teamers, and I'd consider that in 14-teamers as well, especially if you need those low-volume triple-one type stats, but that efficiency is unlikely to continue. Zach Collins, regressing after a strong start to the season. We're also not seeing the same sort of playing time for him. I do like him long-term. I think he is a potential future top 100 player, while guys like Seth Curry and Nick Stauskas, who are taking those backup guard minutes, they're not really doing a huge amount. The rotation for this team is pretty set, pretty solid. The only difference from a couple of weeks ago is that Mo Harkless has replaced Jake Layman in the rotation. That's impacting Evan Turner's minutes, who was providing, I guess, fringe 14-team league value, but Turner's numbers have dropped since then. And not much else to really talk about. The rookies like Anthony Simons and Gary Trent and second-year guys like Caleb Swanigan, they're not a part of the rotation, and I don't really see any clear path for those guys being impactful players for this coming season.